My lovely, lovely, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to you. Lord, people, Jamaica festive. Lord, Jamaica, a hap me to go on. But I saw, Tisha Clark Griffiths, the president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA. I see the caption. I had to take a snapshot so that I didn't forget it. It says JCSA tells members, it's about 30,000 or thereabout members of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. So it says JCSA tells members to prepare for showdown with government. Lord. And when we say government, people, I wanted to put this here because Jamaicans have this impression that when they say government, they're saying Andrew Holness, Minister, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. He comprises being a part of the government. It is him and the cabinet ministers, not just the Prime Minister. There are other portfolios that others have, and this one is not under his portfolio per se. All right, so don't want anybody to come and say it's him. Stop it. Because from a legislative perspective, by extension, the opposition would be a part of it as well. All right, so let's read. So, she was speaking very passionately, in a sense, in her own way. And I had to go and look online to see what's happening here. What is really and truly going on here? All right, let's see. All right. So it says the Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA, is currently pressing the government to settle long-standing wage negotiations, and traveling allowance claims. It has been a while because, in fact, she interjected at some point and said it can be as far as we are outstanding 14 months of retroactive. 14 months, yes, because it has been going and they're not backing down. They are festive and restive, I should say. So, citing soaring inflation and vehicle maintenance costs, Lord, tell me about that. The union has warned the Ministry of Finance that members may consider further action if legitimate demands are not addressed. She spoke on how essential we are to the country. You know what I mean? The ongoing labor tension between the JCSA, representing over 30,000 public sector workers, and the government of Jamaica centers around these primary disputes. One, traveling allowance claims. The JCSA has demanded the urgent settlement of traveling allowance revisions that have been pending since 2024. The union states that public servants are forced to absorb unsustainable out-of-pocket commuting and maintenance costs. Absolutely true. And she said that, if the government represents prosperity, this should be a part of it, growth and getting the country better. I was listening to her speaking. Secondly, wage negotiations. Frustration remains regarding the broader public sector wage settlement process, with unions pushing for increased basic salaries to cope with the rising cost of living. You know how many people, including myself, have lost financially? Sector-specific restructuring. I won't even bother tell you how much money. And it would be the mistake on their end. I wouldn't, if I were to get into this, man. Oh, Lord, it would go viral. Trust me on that. Sector-specific restructuring. Specific agencies, such as the National Works Agency, NWA, have previously grown restive due to position reclassification and job security fears. Though the JCSA has utilized targeted protests and high-level dialogue to force management to the table. Recent developments and next steps, subheadings. It says the JCSA formally placed the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service on notice that worker frustration is reaching critical levels. No one, them something, when like a revolution for start. I'm telling you, when people get too frustrated, they can't. It's almost like physical pain. Because we're finite beings, we're mortals. When your body is in too much pain and it becomes critical, it becomes acute, it becomes very crucial, it will shut down because it can't take the pressure anymore. So it will shut right down. You will pass out. It can't go any further. It can only go so much and no man probably kills you because maybe the cells, the muscles, the tissues, whatnot in the body can't handle it. When the pain is too great, that is why people have to, if the pain is way, way too much, they have to get morphine or they have to take whatever tablets or whatever to kill that pain because it can drive you insane. Or the body can pass out because it can't go anymore. It can't take it anymore. The union is engaging the Ministry of Finance. So it's the same with pressure otherwise. People can only, that, and that is why you will find people become vigilantes and monstrous. And you say, mighty God, how this decent person just turned it? No, because what happens is that they would have exhausted all the good within them. And then it automatically goes into the next phase where you say, all right, you just get dark and you just act. It's like with your emotions. You find yourself crying and then and you just all of a sudden start to laugh. Then you get serious. They wonder, they're interlinked. The emotions, they're fluidy. They link with each other. So, so they have to be very careful because you see the aggression that is on the road. You see the anger that is on the road. Or when you're dealing with people, oh my God. And a lot of it has to do with money woes. Money woes, money woes. The union is engaging the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to prevent the escalation of protests across public offices, with leadership urging workers not to be forced to subsidize government services from their personal pockets. I remember somebody sharing with me that, they had a particular thing like traveling, paying mileage. And let us say, for example, the mileage is usually paid to the driver, but they had changed for whatever reason and allowed people who didn't drive. Once you go on the traveling, you get paid mileage, just that you probably won't claim for toll and so on because you didn't drive. And like a week before they're to get paid, they called and said that they're not going to get that because it changed. It almost like it reverted to the old way. If you didn't drive, you can't claim it. Can you imagine? And you budget around that. Yes, they took it back. Oh my God. One said to me that one time, like they were placed, let us say you have levels, and they were placed level 10 because and it was they who had said, for your good performance, we put in at level 10. And like a year on odd, they sent a message to say, or a letter to say, oh, it's a mistake we made. It's level 9, so you have to pay back what we had given. Hey, government, them think they're wrong, It beyond unethical, it is corrupt, it is evil, and they had to pay back money for something that they had initiated and given. The person didn't even ask for it. So the mistake was not on the receiver's end, it was on the giver's end. So a lot of public servants have lost tremendously. They have put them in so much debt and trouble and woes that it is unbelievable. Independent fiscal oversight bodies have recently flagged the persistent misalignment between public sector wage negotiations and the national budget cycle as a significant risk to government finances. Look here, my take on it is, and it's directed to the Ministry of Finance, stop doing this to the people of Jamaica. They can't take it anymore. No, they don't want to hear no money excuses. Money's out there. As the late and great and venerable Dr. Miles Monroe says, don't let them tell you any nonsense. The money has not moved to Mars. It has not moved to Jupiter nor to the moon. Unless they burn it up in the fire, it is here. It is not allocated properly. And I've often said, no matter where you are, I believe in being paid on merit. So if your position is here, based on where you are paid here. But you can't have a human being, for example, way up here, and then you have another human being way down there. And it's not as though the one who is here is parting the Red Sea, turning water into wine, and raising people from the dead, while this one here only just watering the plant. They're not so diametrically brilliant more than the one down here, because sometimes the one down here is basically here academically with the other one. A word to the wise is sufficient unto the day. You know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, give me one of those lands. Pay the people.